So I'm in my garage. I'm working on my 1985 Honda Goldwing Limited, and over the winter I changed out the oil in the front shocks, in the forks, and I put ATF oil in it when it probably should have had 15 weight because that's what progressive springs need. And I'm about to go on a long ride tomorrow morning, and tonight I decided, let's see if I can quickly change out the oil. And when I had the forks off over the winter, I did not decide to tap the tops like so many people say so that it's easier to insert oil through the top. So I decided to just drain from the bottom where there is a hole right down there. That little bolt, little tiny bolt right there. It's not very focused, I apologize. Anyway, but how do you get the oil in is the question. And I think I've come up with a pretty ingenious way. And it has evolved from, my first thought was I'd recently purchased some pretty big syringes, and I thought, I'll just attach a syringe on there, but it's calling for almost 11 full ounces, and this thing, it would have taken forever, and leaks would have been all over the place. But also, it's way too tight under here to fit that long, straight syringe, and the lighting over here isn't very good, and this side's been draining. The book says you need to let it drain for 5 minutes before you can even attempt to refill it again, and every once in a while it drips, and it's still wet and oily. You can hardly even see the hole. But what I've come up with is a garden drip system connector that I've kind of heated and bent at an angle. There's the plug at the bottom of the fork, and then great tip that somebody said, get a baby bottle because the ounces indicator's on the side. And I'm a radio control hobbyist, so I happen to have an old fuel pump hanging around, and I ran some of the 15 weight fork oil through it, and it's really a tough grind on the fuel pump, and I'm not too pleased that what I'm doing to the inside of the pump. But as soon as I had it full and I unplugged the little guy there, oil came out so quickly, and gosh darn if it isn't really slippery, I lost an unknown quantity of oil while trying to put the plug back in. So then I thought, there's got to be an easier way. So on the top here, on the left side of the bike, inside there is a Schrader valve. And I decided, why don't I take the inside of the valve out and open that up? And I did that before I even started to neutralize the air pressure after I drained all the pressure out. And I thought, you know what? I've got an old AC vacuum pump. And I've got an old air hose that I never use. And I've got this here plug for a regular tire. I put a tiny microscopic hole in that plug, in that cap for a Schrader valve. And when I put that cap on that Schrader valve and slide that into the hose over it, and I turn on the vacuum pump over here. It's just a Harbor Freight vacuum pump that I use to recharge my AC every once in a while. I actually don't use it to recharge it. I used it to retrofit a Ford from R12 to R134A. Haven't really used it very much since. The stuff sucks in after I'm done pumping it in. And that way, as soon as I'm done pumping it in, I can take all the time I want to to put the bolt back in. And I'm guessing that I could use that same method to pump all 10.9 ounces of oil into the fork. And I'm not sure if I'm going to try that or not, but I'm gonna hook this all up and then show you how nice that is when the fork's full of oil and the vacuum pump's going, that I can put that plug back in after pumping the oil in, because I don't have anyone else to hold this camera. So I'll pause the video and show you with everything running how easy it is to put it back together. So hang on.